Welcome. In studio, we have the youth from Youth Alliance for Leadership and Development in Africa. They are going to share with us sentiments about Black History Month as we celebrate it. Now, Black History Month is a month dedicated to celebrating Black people, prominent Black people and their achievements in society. For centuries, their achievements have been neglected, yet they have been part of the history that has shaped our society. We are going to seek and learn what the youth view or how they feel Black History Month is relevant to them, especially in the 21st century, since it is an event that was started long ago. In studio we have
Linda Asimole,
Esther Ochola,
Mwaura,
and Victoria Malowa.
Thank you so much. You're welcome, and we appreciate your presence here.
Thank you. Thank you.
On to my first question. I will direct it to Alex. Alex, what do you understand by Black History Month? And as a student, as an African youth, and what do you feel about it? What can you say about Black History Month?
Generally, what I would say is that the Black History Month is an observance of the history of the African diaspora in a number of countries outside Africa. We take a look at the United States and Canada. They observe it annually in February, and for the United Kingdom, they observe it in October. Generally, Black History Month is a time for all of us to remember. It's a time for us to remember the trials, the tribulations, the successes and failures of the past by various African distinguished leaders. It's a time for us to remember that the war for the civil rights is not yet over, and that we are still making progress towards that.
Wow, thank you. That's inspiring. On to my second question. I'll direct it to you, Esther. Black History Month has been faced by several challenges. Several people have criticized it, especially on the number of days that it has been allocated. February being the month with the least number of days in the year. And some people also argue that dedicating only a month for the celebration of Black History Month is not fair, that it should only be given 1 month out of the 12 months in a year. Some people argue that it should be an ongoing process throughout the year. What is your reactions to such sentiments?
Thank you so much for the question. I believe that Africans have changed the way international relations is conducted, and though for the longest time they've been marginalized, they are still remembered by Africans. As the youth, as people from Africa, we remember these heroes and these fallen people in our society, in our hearts. So even if the international community has chosen to allocate February for the Black History Month, we remember these people for the other 11 months that we have. And where the international community's attitude towards Africa has not been fully appreciated. But we know that with time we will get there, and it's up to us to take us where we want to go.
Thank you so much, Esther. You're very optimistic. I like that. And then to Linda, Esther talked about heroes that have contributed to African history. Is there any African leader who has inspired you, and especially a woman, since the theme this year is focusing on women?
In terms of a woman who has inspired me, a Black African woman, it's Wangari Maathai, whom we all know won the Nobel Peace Prize. And also she's known for her work in the environment. And what I admire most about her is the fact that she has shown in her life that an African woman has a lot to contribute to society. And even at her death, we could see that trees were still being planted in very huge numbers. And that is to tell me and every other woman out there that as an African girl or woman, your passion, your interest, your talent can do a lot to improve society. And so we are proud of her as a Black African woman.
Thank you so much for your sentiments. And then to Victoria, the youth it has been argued, do you think the youth in Africa are taken into account or in decision making, or they are just assumed?
Okay, thank you very much. For that question, most people look at, in terms of decision making processes, most youth normally feel alienated, especially in the political field. But from the examples that we have seen in the Arab Spring, in Egypt, it is possible, even though the youth have been alienated in the past, these countries, these youth from these beautiful African countries have shown us that there is potential for youth to acquire their space in society, whether in the economic field, in the political field, in the social field. Even though we have been alienated in the past, we still have the potential, we still have the strength, we still have the unity, the morale to act upon that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Victoria. And to echo the sentiments of Victoria, united we stand, divided we fall. The youth, if only we could act as a group, I'm sure we can have our voice heard. The United Nations has promised to give the youth a voice, and YALDA, Youth Alliance for Leadership and Development in Africa, has endeavored to give the youth of Africa a voice, to make sure that the youth of Africa are heard. My name is Joseph Muya. Thank you.